Welcome to Containerized Conversations, where we try to containerize our conversation. I'm Jessica Caffarelli.
And I'm Josh Warhurst. Thanks for tuning in as we dive into some of our favorite topics, one containerized thought at a time.
Welcome back, listeners. And welcome back, Josh.
Hey, I'm also listening to you, so we're all a big pool here.
Well, not only are you listening, but you're also talking back to me, so I figured
Well, fair, but that's what the comment section is for, right?
That's true.
It's for everybody to talk back to
Like,
us.
comment, subscribe.
Yep. Whatever metric exists in the future, whenever this gets posted, do that too. Rate us on Apple Podcasts and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and maybe when you do that, you'll be one of our friends one day. Is that a transition?
Is this going to be a thing now? Is this going to be? I'm liking it. It's a new one.
But to that point, right? We're both working from home.
Yeah.
Right. We're both in our mid-30s, right?
Yep.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've found is that working from home is a lot harder to make friends than working from the office.
And it's lonely. It's lonely.
And it's lonely. So high level, I feel like a lot of people, we're talking about friendship here. Something I think we share. Hopefully it's not one-sided. But
hopefully,
when you're in grade school, right, or as a kid, right, you might meet kids in school, right? You might become friends with them for silly reasons, right? You both are sitting next to each other in class, right? And then later on, you get the same hobbies, right? You meet people through different means. You find making friends is really easy when growing up. Then a lot of people find it's a lot harder it's not necessarily hard in college. It's just as easy in college for a lot of people, although they have a pseudo fresh start. So that can be hard for some people, but they don't have these people that they can rely on. But then after that, a lot of people struggle and they find it with work, right? They find friends with work. And I know you've said in the past that you find, is that a healthy relationship to have most of your friends come from work?
Yeah, no. I'm going to pause you for a second because there's a couple of things you said that I want to argue on a little bit. And maybe it's just me, and I can definitely see this different for other people. But at least for me, like, I never had an issue making friends in college.
Yeah.
And I never had an issue making friends the old way at work.
Yep.
And I'm like trying to think, like, I'm really trying to analyze, like, in college, why did I have so many friends? Because I had a lot of friends, but if you know me, you know me. But like for our listeners, for the people who don't know me, I'm not really a social person. Would you label me like a social person?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts here.
Okay, give me the quick dumbed down version. Yes or no?
Gosh, you're right in the middle of socialness.
I'll take it.
You're not a recluse. You're not like a total introvert where you're hiding from the world. But you're also not going to every event, right?
Yeah. But I'm not like the type of person that's gonna randomly go up to people I don't know and talk to them. It's just like, I can't do it. I can't physically do it. So like, why did I have friends? How did I have friends in college if that's possible? And how did I make friends at work if that's possible? Right. And I'm like trying to formulate it now as we talk about it, but it's like those people in college, those friends I made was the same way I made it in work, which was like, I just am the type of person that throws myself into things, classes. I was a computer engineering in college. Those classes were really freaking hard, right? But I was naturally good at a lot of those classes. And I also like helping other people learn things that I know because I like making things less complex and then showing people how that you can make it less complex. Yeah. So I made friends by doing that, right? I just helped my college friends through their classes and we just kind of stayed friends from that. And work was the same exact way. When I started work, I would be naturally good at work. And not only was I good at it, but I also liked helping other people through those problems. And that's how we became friends, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how a lot of my friends I became friends.
But we were also on an adjacent team. We were working together. You weren't part of some team that was on the other side of the building.
Yeah, exactly.
So to your point, you're also, I would say the majority of your work friends were probably on the DevOps team, right?
Exactly.
Or adjacent.
Yeah.
They weren't in marketing. They weren't in SQA.
Yeah.
They weren't in.
Yeah. Actually, I had a couple friends in SQA. Like,
sure.
I didn't limit myself to the just DevOps people. But
yeah.
I mean,
yes, when I think of your socialness from my perspective, right? So take it with a grain of salt. But when I think of your socialness, I think of it as being, you're so focused on your work at work that everybody in your vicinity, they're gaining so much from you, right? So they spend a lot of time with you, and that's really helpful, right? To make friends. I heard once that making friends is partly like experiencing just enough time together, getting boredom and stuff like that. You just have to spend so much time to become quote unquote friends. And it's not what you do in that time, right? It's not like these stories of, we went on a giant trip together and we found each other. It's literally just how much time do you spend with somebody. And at work, you're doing the important work and you're doing a lot of it, and people are coming to you with their problems. And I think that's going to lead to friendship, right? You're spending just a lot of time together.
Yeah. And so now fast forward to today.
Yeah.
Right. And man, I'm like, I'll be honest with our listeners, I'm lonely, man. Right. This is my first fully remote job. But not only is it fully remote, but we're living in the day of AI. My day-to-day interaction isn't even remotely interacting with people. I'm interacting with AI for a majority of my time. To your point, me being that type of person where I make friends through spending time with them and helping them through things, I'm not helping a person anymore. I'm helping AI through things. And so I don't get that time to build the relationship with the
best friend.
Yeah, Claude is my new best friend, and it's sad, and it's lonely because as much as I am a hermit,
I think even the most introverted among us want some kind of socializing, right? They don't want socializing with everybody, right? But they want socializing, right? They want socializing maybe with a very limited set of friends, and maybe with people that really have meaningful conversations and not just talking about the weather, right? There's all types of people out there. But
can I pause you for a second? That's one thing I have such a frustration with. And I know I'm not a common person, but I hate small talk, dude. If I can't have a meaningful conversation with you, why are we wasting our time? There's so much better things to do.
See, I never see it that way. Right?
Oh, okay.
Now, mind you, I probably am one of those people who starts engaging in small talk. Why, though? It's not because I actually care about the weather, right? Now you say, oh, well, so it's a pointless conversation. No, it's a leap off, right? It's a starting
leap off. Okay.
Right? When
Josh, how do I leap off from the weather?
The point of small talk is for it to become big talk, right? The point
We're just hoping it transition.
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of people, it's off-putting to be like, my grandfather died today, and I've been thinking about, should people actually wallow in their grief, or should they overcome it and focus on the next task ahead of them? Most people, that's a good discussion. That a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about. But you don't start with it, because there's a lot of people that are like, whoa, this is too much to start with, right?
Josh, I just want you to know that you're the reason why the executive assistant at my child's daycare is probably going to hate me now. Because the next time he asks me or says, yeah, the weather out there is really bad, I'm going to respond with him, yeah, when I'm contemplating how we're slowly dying to death. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, no.
And when he looks at me like I'm a weirdo, I have nobody but you to blame.
Okay, like that's definitely an escalation. But I think when you have small talk, you are like opening the door. You know that metaphor about like the frog in the boiling water, right?
Yeah.
If the frog jumped into the boiling water, it would jump right out. But when it jumps in and then it's like slowly heating up, it doesn't necessarily know.
Okay, so now you're saying you need to trap people into conversations with you. Is that if I'm following your analogy, your conversations
maybe.
are just way too much for people. So you have to start small and then segue.
You know what? I'm not thinking of this as like a combative kind of relationship, but yes, arguably. The point is I'm trying to trap them. Yeah, because basically you start with a conversation that's mundane, like how's the weather, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you get a hint of, oh, like maybe you figured out some new information about them because they said that that's why they decided to take the car today instead of walking, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, well, you can use this to get into like a deeper conversation. Oh, which do you prefer? Hate like the rain because of this and stuff like this. I just think that the small talk can be a way to actually trick people into having a better conversation. So
no, I jest with you, but honestly, I actually think you're onto something, and maybe that's why it's hard for me to make friends. Maybe that's one thing I need to do. I gotta trap people into conversations.
I'm gonna separate these a little bit because yes, that will increase the amount of time that you spend with a person, and usually that time that increases, as long as it's not in a way that makes the other person angry with you, is going to, I don't know, to use like a video game metaphor, it's going to increase your friendship points, right? You're going to slowly build up that gauge.
Yeah.
But the thing that really matters is spending, a lot of times these small talks, even if they become big talks, they're going to last like 20, 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And the truth is, to make like friends, you really need like hours and hours, right? And I think that only really happens when you say, hey, you make a big leap and you say, hey, you want to hang out after work?
Yeah.
Hey, I have
this reminds me of like, that Bluey episode. Do you watch Bluey?
I've watched some Bluey, yeah. Bluey's great.
Did you watch the episode where Bandit takes is it Bingo or Bluey to the playground, and they run into the other dad and kid at the playground? Have you seen that episode?
I don't know if I have.
Oh, it's so funny because Bluey's, after the first day, Bluey's like, oh, are you best friends with him? And Bandit's like, no. And she's, why not? And he's like, I just met him. How long does it take to become friends? I don't know. And it's just, it kind of reminds me of what you're talking about, where it's like, but it gets back to your actual thing that you were saying at the beginning of the episode, where as kids, like, you meet somebody for the first time and you're like, oh, you're my best friend now. Versus now what you're saying is, as adults, and you're right, it takes way longer to classify someone as an acquaintance to friend and then to best friend.
When you're a kid too, like that meeting with somebody and you spend 20 minutes with them, that is an incredible amount of like a chunk of your life.
Oh, I see.
That is,
so it's like it depends on how long you've been living. It's like a percentage.
When that kid made a best friend after spending 3 hours with them, that's you actually 5 different
3 years.
Yeah, like spending a significant amount of time with somebody else.
I don't like what you're proposing though, because that means as you get older, it's harder to make friends because you now need to spend an exponential amount more time with an acquaintance just to become a friend. So what, when I'm years old, I might as well give up because the amount of time I have to spend with the person to become a friend is probably doesn't equal how many years I have left.
They're going to die before you actually become friends. I mean, yeah.
Conversation.
We can talk about that. But a little bit, right? It does matter the amount of time that you spend, right? And I do think genuinely that part of that time that's spent is the hard thing about the work from home situation is that it's not really, you're not really gaining any points by having a Slack conversation, right? You actually need, like, Zoom / a Slack video call is better than the text thing, but the text really does not do anything for your friendship, right? I think that personally, right? What actually matters is having conversation, right? Talking to them. But what even matters more is getting like all this other stuff out of the way and spending time with that person. And sometimes work facilitates this, right? A lot of friends that I have from my past company were because we did stuff outside of work, right? Yeah, we did work together. We spent a lot of time at work together. But the reason we became friends was because we went on walks together. We went on hikes, right? We spent the weekends doing some interesting activity. That's what helped us become friends. And honestly, this year I've spent time with people from high school, people from college, people from past work. The truth is, this is a funny conversation for me because I'm not really looking to have more friends with kids. I feel like between the hobbies I have and my kids and the friends that I already have from my past, that's more than enough work. I want to maintain all those relationships. So even though work right now, I'm not really making any new friends. It's not a really big deal because I already have all those other friends. Is how I see
I
it.
think that's also really hard for people like me because things happened in the past and now I'm not as close with all of my friends that I was really close with, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't really have close relationships with people that I could have deep conversations with. That's the thing is, it's also weird because I also find it hard to have conversations with a lot of people too. I'll try to have conversations with people I just meet, but I'll try to talk. So I will try to do small talk, but I don't do small talk like the weather. Like my thing is I want to know about you. So I'll ask, okay, what hobbies you have? But most of the time when I ask questions like that to people are just like, oh no, I don't have any hobbies. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what do you do? What do you do in your free time? Oh, I just watch TV. I was like, oh, okay. Are there any TV shows you're watching? Not really. All right. Well, I guess we're not having a conversation anymore.
Yeah. A lot of, I think these conversations too, there's so much to like the art of conversation. You're trying to suss out, does the person actually want to talk right now?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't want to talk, right?
Yeah.
We have like at my daughter's daycare, right? I don't think this is private or anything like this, right? But like there are people who are at the front desk, and 9 times out of 10, they want like you can have a conversation, and it's great, right?
Yeah.
This is like a fun way to start your day. You talk to them, they have some interesting thing to say, right? Back and forth. It's a fun way to start the day. But sometimes you talk and they're clearly focused on something else, and you're like, okay, I gotta go.
Dude, it's crazy how different our lives are because I go to drop my kid off and they want to talk to me. And I'm like, please don't talk to me. I just want to drop my kid off and go to work.
They might be willing to talk to you about some deep
They
stuff.
could be a potential best friend and I'm turning them away.
Honestly,
we talked about this. That's an older episode too. Everybody, that was a quote from you. You said everybody you meet can be a potential, I forgot how you put it. It's like a potential future best friend or something.
Yeah, you don't know. And I think that's why engaging even with the small talk is just opening yourself up to that possibility that they're there. You said something in the past. I don't know if it was not during this episode necessarily, but about going to a coffee shop and opening up a book, and maybe somebody will talk to me. And it's like, that's so passive. That's so passive.
No, that was a message I actually sent to you to pitch this episode.
Yeah.
So no. So but that's a good idea, right? I understand what you're saying. It's not going to be a definite way to get people to say anything to me. And let's fill in our audience members. So how I pitch this episode to you is that I can almost be like a the idea would be that we brainstorm a bunch of different ideas of how somebody could make friends. Then I will do video episodes of me trying those things out and seeing, and we can even rate them to see how good they were at making friends. And I've thought about it a little bit more. We could create an Instagram account where I'll do shorts on it. And then afterwards we can do follow-up episodes or podcasts where we look at those and we review is it actually a good idea? And maybe this can be helpful for our listeners, because hopefully our demographic of listeners is people in our same problem that we're having. And maybe some of them are like you, who don't have time for friends right now. You have enough friends, and then you have your family. But maybe there's some people out there like me who are having a hard time in this new world, who is open for a new friend and just doesn't have a good way to do it.
I think there are certainly a lot of methods, and I think a lot of people handle this differently. Right?
Yeah.
The only thing that I would just want to make an impression of, right? The one takeaway that I want you to have, I think, is that making friends is a process that's active, right?
Yeah.
It's not passive, right? You need to spend time with other people.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you have to make time with everybody, right?
Yeah.
But that you have to open yourself up to the possibility that you might spend time with other people. And honestly, don't wait for other people. I know some people would, right? Because that's better than nothing, right? Putting yourself out there takes effort.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
But the most consistent way to make friends is actually just to go and spend a lot of time with other people and then offer, hey, you want to go on a hike this weekend? You want to go do this? Figure out what the person likes. And
well, I hate hiking, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but inviting them to your child's birthday party, or
then I'm too busy hosting. I can't actually hang out with them.
Okay, I don't know you.
You do know me. It's not like you're some random person I just met on the street. Jeez.
Who
I've been
are
downgraded so fast. I didn't know you were insulted by me.
Jesus.
No, okay. So stop dancing around the bush here. So you're saying that so one of the ideas I came up with was going and reading a book in a public location. And now here's the thing. Do I agree with you? Yes. Is it a diehard way to get a friend? No, definitely not. But here's the thing. And this is why I came up with that idea. One thing I realized on why it's hard for me to make friends is it's hard for people to see me, right? Yeah. If I'm spending most of my time in my house, from working from there, then eating lunch here, and then the only time I actually see people physically at this point during the week is I either go and pick up my kid from daycare and they see me there, or we go to a restaurant and the waiter sees me, right? There's no situation in a social way where I see people. And so my thought process is you go to a coffee shop, you go to a bookstore, Barnes and Noble, you go somewhere where people are also going and aren't forced to be there because they're working there. But there's other people that aren't. And as long as you're in those situations, let's say I'm just sitting there reading a book, maybe I'm reading a book that someone else hasn't read yet, and they might come talk to me, and then we have something to actually talk about because it's a book I'm reading. And so obviously we have some common interest if they want to read it and I'm reading it.
I think this is a good idea, right? But I would also then go and say, hey, when you see somebody else reading a book, go and talk to them, right?
So
don't just sit there and...
But what if they don't want to talk to you? What if they're there to be alone and now you're disturbing them? I don't know.
No, it's reading the room and then deciding, do they actually... Going up and being like, oh, do you like that book? And be like, oh, it's pretty good. Yeah. And then they kind of look back to the book. Don't talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
They basically said a lot of people have this fear that they're going to totally ruin the conversation, right? Totally interrupt somebody. Often that saying one sentence,
that's true,
is inconsequential. Now, if you keep pestering them and they don't want to talk to you, they keep back their book. Yeah. That's where you're being a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I would just say, again, just be intentional. Yes, it's good to go to a coffee shop. That's way better than your house. You'll never meet people except the people you invite to your house at your
Yeah,
house.
exactly. If I'm sitting there just reading books in my house, I'm not going to ever run into another person.
Yeah. If you work from home, like it's the hardest. You really need to get out of your home if you want to meet people, right?
Yeah.
But when
so
you
so here's another idea,
Yeah.
right? You keep talking about doing things with people. And so this was another suggestion, which is go join a exercise group, right?
Yep.
A boxing class or
a meetup,
a row class or some, yeah. There's not meetups besides like exercising. Is there? I don't know.
Well,
maybe. So that's another idea. Do a meetup.
But let's say you want to learn Japanese, right? As a hypothetical, right? You want to learn a language, right? You go and actually go to a class, right? You meet other people, right? People that have this same interest, right? For totally different reasons, right?
Yeah.
There's things for like your kids, right? Your kid is taking an interest in dance, right? Maybe you go and give them dance lessons. You talk to the other parents, right? Like, let's say you met a famous person, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The way that I think of it is like they're still a person at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, but all you can think about is just blurting quotes at them from their famous movie,
and they don't want that, right? They get all the time, right?
Yeah.
The more normal conversation, being aware that this is not a high stakes conversation, is always the important thing, right? Every conversation that you have is pretty low stakes, right? Let's say you meet somebody, like literally, I don't know, you meet Keanu Reeves in the line of a coffee shop, right?
Yeah.
Like asking him what he's going to order is like, what do you recommend here? It doesn't need to be anything about anything that they've done before, right?
Does this cafe actually exist?
I don't know.
That's a Matrix quote.
Maybe if you go and say that, and he's going to be, I don't know.
Whoa.
Who knows? Who knows?
Okay. All right. No, I mean, all right. So I think this episode's, we're already 33 minutes in. We talked about a lot of really good stuff, but I think next episode or next time we need to spitball some ideas for me to do. I'll go and do them. Like I said, we can record it and then I'll throw it on Instagram or something, and then we can come back and maybe review it and be like, okay, was that actually useful or not? Can you make friends? And maybe we can help me make friends, and maybe we can help our audience members as well.
Sounds good. Yeah. I like the idea. Let's do it.
No. All right. Like I said, I think the other thing to end this episode, I think it's hard for me to come up with conversations with other people, but for some reason, me and you can ramble on for 35 minutes and no problem at all. Make it make sense, Josh. I don't know.
We can ramble on for a lot longer than 35 minutes.
And it's deep conversation, and I care deeply about it. This is just the conversation I want with the guy that's making my coffee too. Is that so much to ask?
You can do it. You just gotta.
Yeah. All right. On that note, I think we'll end it here.
Good luck,
Josh.
We're all counting on you.
I'll try. And that was our containerized conversation. I'm Jesse Caffarelli.
I'm Josh Warhurst. Have a great night.